Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Finding 10, where we are gonna search for a 10 out of 10 movie. Today, you might realize that there is something different about me. It is because we're gonna talk about an important movie, and that movie is, of course, Joker. Alright, so I have a lot of mixed feelings towards the movie, so let's just get into it. Joker is a different take on the classic villain character that is the Joker. It was directed by Todd Phillips, so basically this is his take on the character Joker. The story follows Arthur Fleck, who was a man down on his luck, to say the least. It was clear from the very beginning that Arthur was mentally unstable. He was seeing a psychiatrist, he was writing really weird jokes. He has a condition that forces him to laugh out of nowhere, so that automatically makes him like a weirdo to others. His only actual friend was his own mother, who lives with him in a small apartment room. And even the mother, we can clearly see that there's something off about her. Arthur aspires to be a comedian, and his role model is a comedian named Murray. He watches the Murray Show every time with his mother, and he often daydreams about being called on stage by Murray. So that was Arthur Fleck, and the movie follows his slow descent into madness, transforming him to be the Joker. Beyond this point, I'm gonna talk about important plot points, so if you want to avoid spoilers, pause this video, go watch the film yourself, and then come back and finish this video. Alright, so let me tell you guys that growing up, I was a huge superhero fan. I didn't really read the comics, but I would still know what was happening in them. And granted, I wasn't really following DC superheroes because I grew up with MCU, so I'm sorry if I spelled wrong facts and I offend some of the DC fanboys later on. With that information about me, I think it goes without saying that I was really excited when they announced that they were gonna make a Joker movie that will have no connection to the DCEU whatsoever. Two reasons. First, just like every other superhero fanboy, to me, Joker was the ultimate villain character. And this is actually not my first time being in the Joker's makeup. The first time was actually 3 or 4 years ago, during Halloween, when I go as Ledger's Joker. It is the only memory of Halloween that I have. I felt so cool back then. Second, it was because the DCEU was a complete hot mess. So by not having a connection to them, this movie can focus solely on itself without the worries of setting up future stuffs for future films. So I went in the cinema with a very high expectations of the film, and to be honest, I think I got what I deserved for expecting too much. When the credits rolled, I really can't say that I was disappointed in the film, but I was seriously considering about being disappointed in the film. Do you get what I mean? Even until now, I still don't know my feelings towards the film. I like the film, but at the same time, I don't really like it. Does that make sense? Alright, so let's just get started on the good things about the film first. Other than Joaquin's performance, I think the best thing about this film was how they were using their color palette. And what I mean by color palette is how they color grade their film. They apply a cold bluish colors in the first parts of their movie, and then slowly started using more warmer colors as the movie progressed. I especially remember the contrast between the first scene of him talking to his therapist and the last scene where he stands in the middle of the riot. And the use of that flaming red was so powerful to me considering what the scene was about. But other than the cold warm spectrum, they also use purple, green, yellow, and sometimes orange as the color grading. And I think those colors are so fitting for this movie because they are the Joker's colors. I remember a scene in particular that used these colors so beautifully.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How does someone wind up in here?
So you can clearly see that half of the screen was filled with yellow, while the other half was filled with green. And I think that is the reason why I'm so amazed by the scene, because I can feel the Joker's vibe. And what's more amazing, this was also the start of the scene where he found out that his mother is delusional and that he was adopted. To me, finding out this information was the last straw for him, because soon after that, he killed his mother and he became the Joker. So this is a very important scene, and they managed to accompany it with these colors to symbolize that this is actually the start of him becoming the Joker. And I think it's never a bad thing to have a color palette for your movie. Second, the twist was handled very well. How can I say that it was handled very well? It's because I genuinely didn't know that it was a twist. I only found out that there was a twist and what it was after like a week after watching the film. And I know I must sound dumb to you guys. I genuinely didn't understand why Sophie didn't seem to recognize Arthur. Somehow I completely believe Arthur despite knowing that he cannot be trusted. And the fact that the movie managed to completely fool me, I think it proves that they handled this twist extremely well. And then of course, Joaquin's performance. I think everyone has said this already about how phenomenal he was in Joker, so I'm not gonna go through it again. I'll just say that I'm very happy that he finally gets the attention he deserves. I think before Joker, casual moviegoers doesn't really seem to pay attention to him, despite him being amazing in basically every role. I think the movie Her was a masterpiece mostly because of his performance. So now let's get into the why I am considering about being disappointed in the film. And keyword here is considering. I'm not saying that I'm disappointed in the film, I'm just considering whether I am. The main reason for this was because of how the story goes. As I've said, the story follows Arthur's slow descent into madness. So, for the whole film, it was mostly just bad things happening to Arthur. I can't even remember all the bad things that happened to him because it was literally scene after scene after scene after scene just about bad things happening to him. That tells me that they wrapped their main character around pity, meaning that they focused on making the audience pity him first rather than anything else. And to me, that is just not a good formula for a main character. I genuinely believe that the audience needs to root for the MC rather than just pitying him, because there's only so much sympathy that I can give in the span of 2 hours before I finally get bumped out. And with the abundance of scenes that leads to the same goal, I found myself wanting the movie to just get to the point. I know that those scenes are meant to make us understand why he became the Joker, but at midpoint, I found myself getting pretty bored at the film. And it's not like there was nothing happening in the film. In fact, the things that were happening in the film was actually pretty interesting. But again, all of those things invokes the same emotion, and that's what I found boring. And I know that some people are really creeped out by Arthur's behavior, especially when he lashes out. But in all honesty, considering his character is supposed to be the Joker, to me, his behavior was less creepy than what I expected. Going into the film, I was expecting to see crazy on a scale that I haven't seen before, because that is what the Joker is to me. If you remove Batman from the equation, the Joker is just a man who doesn't have any goal other than to create chaos. And that is the main reason why he is so terrifying. So yeah, I was disappointed with how uncrazy Arthur is. Another thing is how they handled the Joker's laugh. The Joker's laugh was always a very big and iconic part of the character Joker. But in this film, the reason why he laughs was because it was an illness. And I think that took away the thing that makes it iconic right away. It just turns into another thing that we should feel pity about, and I think that's not a good thing. And there's actually a great scene regarding the Joker's laugh. And I wish it was more of this, rather than just laughing because of an illness. I think it would pack a bigger punch to have him do this throughout the film, where he laughs because he genuinely thinks that that is what the world expects him to be. And when he became the Joker, he can finally laugh without faking it. That would still preserve the meaning of the laugh, rather than just it being an illness. I think every single reason that I have mentioned leads to the movie not having that rewatch value. As much as I love the Joker, I really don't want to watch the movie again. And it's not like because it is too creepy for me. No, it's just I genuinely don't have the drive to watch this movie again. It doesn't have that moment to me. Alright, take for example Dunkirk. I love Christopher Nolan from the bottom of my heart, but I'll be honest that Dunkirk wasn't a great film. It was pretty boring, but it still had that moment that makes me want to go back to it. It's the scene where the civilian boats came to save them. I think a movie should always have the rewatch value because it is an art form. It doesn't matter how great your art is if it doesn't make the consumer wants to go back to it. But what confuses me is that despite the fact that I do not like some of the directions that they took, I fully understand why they took those directions. It is a story of how the Joker came to be, and it is a different take on the character. The only thing that I can genuinely criticize is the way they handle their laugh. But other than that, yes, I don't like it, but I do think that I would do the same if I was in Todd Phillips' shoes. What I hate about the movie, however, and it's not even about the movie, was people's reaction towards the film. I hate the word society so much right now, just because of how they keep saying that after watching the film. Bad people are just good people that are hurt. Oh God, cry me a river, right? If you genuinely think that that is the main point of the movie, I hate to break it to you, but you're just an edgy teen. He was clearly mentally unstable. So to say that he killed those people just because he is hurt, I think that's really childish. And even then, you can't say that he became the Joker because he was mentally unstable. You shouldn't even try to give excuses as to why Arthur became the Joker. I think a lot of people mistook the point of this movie. It was never to make you sympathize or even make excuses for the Joker. No, it was just to tell how Joker came to be. And of course, I'm not saying that the movie was without message. No, it gives a splendid and a very strong message about the segregation of the poor and the rich. But it's not about how good people turn into bad people when they are hurt. Come on, we're talking about the Joker here. And please stop saying that you relate to the Joker. It's kind of cringy because no, you don't relate to the Joker. No one relates to the Joker because that is the point of the character. There are actual people that are dealing with mental health issues. So the least you can do is just stop saying that you relate to the Joker when you know that you actually actually don't. But the movie itself I think was great. Todd Phillips did amazing in directing it. Joaquin Phoenix's performance was phenomenal. Zazie was amazing. And that interview scene with Murray was both extremely well written and extremely well executed. Oh, and the way they referenced the Wayne family in this film was so amazing, it was insane. When the Wayne family was at that iconic alley, I was like, oh my god, is this happening? Is this happening? Are they really doing it? Oh my god, they're doing it, this is happening. But yeah, despite all that, I think it's not a movie that I would watch again. Oh, and I know I haven't talked about the theory that suggests that the movie was all happening in Arthur's head. That is because I think the theory sucks so badly because it just defeats the whole purpose of the film. So with that said, the only thing left to do is to rate it. This movie gets a 7.6 from me because I genuinely think that it's a great film. It's so well made, but with the lack of the replay value, this is the highest score that I can give. I think that's it for today. If you agree with my thoughts on the movie Joker, click the like button in this video. And my question for you guys today is, if the movie wasn't called The Joker, maybe it's called some other clown, I don't know, McDonald's, and they remove all the Wayne family stuffs, just change the Wayne family into some other rich family, would it get a score of 8.5 on IMDb too, or would it score higher or maybe lower? Would it get the same reaction from the people around it? Drop your answer in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys at our next destination. It's raining, but I'm gonna do skit anyway. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if the noise will be too loud, so I don't know. What do you get when you cross a Joker fanboy and a confusing movie about the Joker? You get a fucking YouTube video.